Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been quite a while that I've made a YouTube video, and I am hoping to slowly revive this channel and start talking about migraines and disability related topics. My name is Leilani. I am a 21-year-old woman. I suffer with chronic migraines every single day, and I have for the past 4 years. 12% of the American population has migraines of some form, and 18% of American women experience migraines. Both of these numbers are huge. And to add on to this, migraines typically affect people most in their late teens and early 20s. And so I really see myself as a perfect representation of the typical migraine patient. What does the life of someone with migraines look like, right? Some people have migraines maybe once or twice a month, and it can really strike them out of nowhere while you're driving, while you're sleeping, while you're taking care of your kids, any of those situations. Some people get them every week, and then there's some people who get them every day, like me. And the symptoms can vary a lot from person to person. Some people get what's called an aura, which is like a visual disturbance, like almost like a hallucination over their vision. Some people get nausea. Some people have sensitivity to light. That's my biggest symptom, is sensitivity to light. I basically have to lock myself in a dark room for as long as my pain lasts. And there's a lot of symptoms that other people have that I don't have, or symptoms that I have that other people don't have. It varies so much. But really, I think anyone who's experienced a migraine will tell you that it's extremely debilitating and it affects them greatly. No matter if you only have it if you have it once a month, that's still awful. If you have it once a year, that's still awful, It doesn't matter how often you get them, they're horrible, right? At the worst case, migraines can start to control your life. They can really take away big aspects of someone's life. Migraines are a disability. I'm here to tell you that you're not alone. I'm here suffering with you. 12% of the American population is here suffering with you, unfortunately. And your pain is valid. Your pain is real. It's not just a headache. I know you've probably had someone in your life tell you to take an aspirin and get over it. This is an invisible disease, but that doesn't make it any less debilitating than someone with a broken leg or someone with a more visible disability. What's the definition of disabled, right? If you experience migraines twice a year, twice a month, twice a week, or twice a day, you are affected. You are disabled in those moments. And so I just want to tell you that you are absolutely allowed to use the term disabled. I think that was one of my hang-ups when I started using the term disabled, is that I saw these people in wheelchairs, people with cerebral palsy and very visual disabilities, and I looked at them and I thought like, oh, I should be thankful that my body works for the most part the way it's supposed to. I should be thankful that I can see. And I was like, this isn't a disability. Like, what? I just have some pain. Okay? No. Like, if I have to lay in bed for 6 hours a day, that is a disability. If it affects your daily life when you have a migraine at all, that is disabling. The definition of disabled is just someone who has a condition that is disabling. And so what I really want to talk about here is kind of bringing disability awareness into the migraine community, because I've met so many girls, around my age who experience migraines, some of them even to the extent that mine are, like every day, and they think it's normal. I've met a lot of women who experience migraines and they don't think of it as a medical problem. They don't think of it as a disability because it's so normal. It's so normalized for women to get headaches and get migraines because it is so common. But just because it's common, just because you're a woman and it might have something to do with your hormones, doesn't mean that this is not a debilitating, real disability. You are allowed to call this what it is, a disability. Because if something is taking control of your life, if something can, in the blink of an eye, completely disable you and make you not able to do your work, make you not able to see properly, however it affects you, that is a disability. This is an invisible disease, an invisible disability, but it sends people to the emergency room. With all the definitions and everything aside, you know, you experience migraines every day, you know how bad they affect you, but what's the big deal with this word disabled, right? Why call this a disability? And I don't know if this is the same answer for everyone, but for me, calling it a disability really helped me validate the reality and the weight of what I was experiencing. It kind of helped me prove to myself that this was real. This was a big thing in my life that was affecting me in a big way. It's not just a little headache. It's debilitating, and calling it what it is okay. And finally, the last reason to use the term disabled is because disabled is a protected status, at least in the United States. It's a protected status the same way race, sexual orientation, gender identity, age, the same way all these things are. And so by using that term, you're validating your experience and you're giving yourself a socially protected term to use to explain your condition. And it is a protected status, so you have more rights in certain situations, such as if you go to university, if you're disabled, you have the right to more time on exams. You should get some disability accommodations like more time on your homework and stuff like that. And so, yeah, you know, using the term disabled, it helped me not only validate my experience to myself, but also it helped me explain my condition to others. You know, I could just say I'm disabled instead of explaining my whole situation with my migraines and how I get them every day. I could just say I'm disabled and just leave it at that. Alright, so lastly, I just wanted to talk about my experience starting to use the term disabled and how my journey with that kind of played out. I first started getting daily migraines when I was 17. I just remember for about a year after that, I was really in denial. You know, I was young. I kind of couldn't believe what was happening to me. And I was already doing community college at this age, and I was really into school. And I would just like have energy drinks all the time, and I would try really hard to ignore my pain a lot of the time and just push through it and try to work through the pain and drink energy drinks to like mask the pain if I could, and a lot of times that would make it worse. I was nowhere in the mindset of calling this a disability. I didn't want to have anything to do with migraines, you know. I was just very much in a place of denial about what was happening to me, and I didn't want to accept it at all. And by being in that place of denial, I was actively making my condition worse in a lot of ways, you know, by not taking good care of myself and things like that. And so very slowly over the years, I started realizing, you know, okay, I haven't stopped having these migraines every day. You know, medications aren't working for me because mine are treatment resistant. And so slowly I started becoming more gentle with myself. And then it wasn't until, you know, 2019 actually, I think, that I started using the term disabled. And it was a little difficult at first to use it in social contexts. And I think it can be hard sometimes to talk about being disabled. And I think that's a conversation that you know, the world kind of has to have more is disability awareness and disability acceptance and stuff. But for me, using the term disabled to my family and just thinking of myself as disabled, it was a way for me to be more gentle with myself, and it was a way for me to accept the reality of what was happening to me, the reality of the fact that my life is starting to be controlled by these migraines. And I just want to emphasize that using that term and starting to come into this place of acceptance, it wasn't like I was giving up. And I think that's a misconception that people can have, is they're like, oh, if you just consider yourself disabled, then are you not going to try to get better? And I'm like, no, obviously I'm going to just keep trying different medications. I'm going to do yoga. I'm going to try to eat right, but I'm not going to give myself false hope. You know, I'm going to say that, you know, a lot of people with chronic migraines, it never goes away. And so I'm going to work to accept my situation, accept the current moment in my life, and use this term disabled to explain my situation and liberate myself and give myself that acceptance that I needed so much. I needed it so much. And really starting to use the term disabled was the start of my journey into disability acceptance and disability awareness. And so it really meant a lot for me. I don't know if it'll mean as much to you all, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If you experience migraines, you know, have you ever thought about using the term disabled? Do you use it? How do you feel about it? This is our world, right? As people with chronic migraines, we experience everything about the world differently, you know? Certain smells might give us a migraine. Certain types of light might be too much for us. Certain foods we might not be able to eat, you know? Everything is so different for us, and we deserve to recognize all this pain and all this suffering that we go through and validate it and say, yes, I am disabled. I deserve to be kind to myself. I deserve to take extra time on my work, to be gentle with myself, and to accept this place that I am in life and not hurt myself anymore with denial. And so that's what this process meant to me. Yeah, I'd really love to hear whatever your thoughts are on this. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and let me know if there's any other kind of video you might want me to do. Yeah, thank you so much. And so really the reason that I want to make this video is that, you know, I'm a 21-year-old girl and I struggle with this. And I know there's so many other people my age who are struggling with chronic migraines. But, you know, I really haven't seen any content on YouTube from people of my demographic, from people that look like me. When I search YouTube for, you know, migraine related videos, you know, are migraines a disability? I either find videos from doctors and healthcare professionals, you know, podcasts, medical stuff, and then I've seen a couple of videos from some YouTubers talking about their experience, but it's usually, you know, older women or moms, and, you know, I really haven't seen a lot of videos from young people like me, young women like me, talking about their experience. And so I just want to make this video to kind of open up the conversation for people like me, and to tell any of you who are struggling with this that you're not alone. You're really not alone. You know, this is a problem that affects so many people, unfortunately. And it's so important that we stick together and we stay strong, because, you know, this disease, it doesn't seem that bad on the surface, but it kills people. You know, people commit suicide from migraines. You know, I'm 21. I obviously have friends that I like to go out with and you know, go drinking with and stuff like that. But sometimes I'm going through a phase where I absolutely cannot have alcohol because it'll give me a migraine, just the smell of it. And sometimes my migraines are so bad that I can't hang out with my friends for a month. And I've had friends that have had a really hard time understanding that. And I think migraines can really start to socially isolate their sufferers. And so I think it's just so important that we talk about this disease because it affects you so greatly, but there's no symptoms on the outside. There's nothing you can see, right? And so I just want to tell you, if you're feeling socially isolated, if you feel like migraines are controlling your life, you're not alone. This is an awful condition and lots of young people struggle with it. And so I'm just a regular 21-year-old girl, but I get it.